Hey guys, so we're here watching to get tickets for Spider-Man.
Spider-Man 2.
The Amazing Spider-Man.
Oh shoot. And we're totally late. I think the movie's already started, or at least we're missing
We have
all
like
the
5 minutes before the movie
previews.
starts.
So yeah, we're running in super late. We gotta get our vouchers and maybe get food.
Get some
and then
popcorn real quick.
Luckily it's like during the week, so we don't have to worry about a crowd and stuff like that.
Nope.
But
So we can go in there and get any spot we want.
always
Okay,
late to
see you in a bit.
movies.
Bye.
Hey guys, how's it going?
We are back with another movie review.
Yep, this is the movie season, so there's going to be a lot more coming.
A lot of money to see these movies.
Well, fortunately you get the discount.
Yeah, I get discount tickets, so it's all good. But we went to see The Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Overall, I was actually a little disappointed with the movie. It was still an entertaining movie. There were parts of it that I did really like, but there's just so many parts of the movie that kind of felt a little disjointed and a little campy. So my overall kind of it was a fun. The action was great, but my overall opinion of the movie was it could have been a lot better.
Yeah, I would have to agree. I didn't like it as much as I thought I was gonna like it. I actually kind of knew before going to the theater, like, I didn't really read many reviews before we saw the movie, but I kind of had it in my head that I just I just wasn't as excited about it. I wasn't like, all right, I want to see this at midnight, and I don't know. It was fun. It was entertaining. The storyline was okay. There were some things I could have done without, and also some things that I could have done with more, if that made any sense at all. So, yeah, I think if I were to rate it, like,
I was actually thinking on a 10 scale.
on a 10,
I was actually thinking like maybe 7.5.
I would say 6.5 out of 10.
6.5? Okay.
Or
So, I mean,
7.
I was-
It's about the same as you.
Yeah.
It's about the same. I was pretty disappointed. Like, I wanted to like it. I like Andrew Garfield.
And I think he's a really good Spider-Man / Peter Parker.
Yeah.
Better than Tobey Maguire.
In our personal opinion, we know
And
a
that's
lot of
personal
people,
opinion.
really, really, like, is gunning for Toby. So, not saying Toby did a bad job. I just prefer how Andrew Garfield portrayed the Spider-Man this time, or maybe how they wrote him. And I know it's not just all depending on the actor. It depends on, the director and the writer and even the editor. And that has a lot to do with how a specific character is portrayed too. It's not always just solely on the actor's shoulders, but I definitely like the Andrew Garfield version better.
Yeah, so now we'll start getting into specifics of the movie.
Yeah, there'll be spoilers from here on out.
Yeah, we're going to start talking about specific things in the movie that we
So
like.
if you haven't seen it yet, you know what to do. Click away or bookmark this. You can come back later, or if you want to, know what you're getting yourself into before you get into the theaters, then keep watching.
Yeah. So what were some of the things that you thought worked incredibly well in The Amazing Spider-Man 2?
Obviously the action was great. I love the fact that, he's just right off the bat in the movie was saving the day already. I love that he's a sarcastic, a little bit of a D-bag. He's such a smart ass, Peter Parker, and that's how he is in the comics, and that's how I really like to see him, especially when he's fighting, a villain, and, he's could be getting his butt handed to him, but he's still, talking trash, and he's still taunting you, and that's Spider-Man, and that's what we've all kind of known if you're into the comics, and even the cartoons a little bit like that too.
That was one thing that I always thought was really missing from a lot of the previous Spider-Man movies, was the fact that you never really got the sense that Peter Parker loved being Spider-Man.
Right.
When The Amazing Spider-Man, you really felt that when he was out being Spider-Man, he was having fun, he loved helping people, and he loved being the superhero.
Yeah.
And in that the second scene, when he's fighting the runaway, the guys who stole the stuff from Oscorp.
Oh, the plutonium?
The plutonium. You
was
just
it plutonium that they
it
stole?
was
or
some radioactive
Did I
material.
just throw a word out there? It was something like that.
And Spider-Man's chasing down the truck, and you can just tell he's having fun. He's teasing the villains because he knows he's going to win.
Yeah.
Because he knows how powerful he is. And he's, knocking on the window, teasing the guy who becomes the Rhino.
I liked seeing him and Gwen Stacy's little struggle with their relationship and struggling with real life versus his, alternate identity life. And I really like how hard he tried to connect with what his dad was doing and what happened. He just didn't want to believe that his dad was just abandoned him for no reason and he was this bad guy because the FBI said that he was a traitor or something like that.
Yeah, Aunt May tells him that the FBI
because that's what
comes.
she knew. So I liked seeing that. We do see Harry Osborn.
Well, I have to admit, the relationship between Gwen and Peter is probably one of the things that works the best
In the film?
this movie.
Yeah, I have to agree.
I love
it's like the glue.
every minute.
Yeah, they have really good chemistry with each other. So it really showed on camera, and it's so good. It's so good. They're playful, and the emotional scenes you really felt like when they were breaking up, like it was just you felt for them, for the both of them, because they both struggled with it. It's not something what they wanted, but they struggled with it. Harry Osborn is in it. It's Dane DeHaan from Chronicles. If you've ever seen,
amazing actor.
Such a good actor, very very good. I really liked him as Harry. I thought he looked how I envisioned Harry would look like for this film. This I guess like reboot version of Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Versus like the James Franco.
Yeah, the James Franco just
I
came
like
off.
James Franco, by the way. I'm not knocking on him. I do like James Franco a lot. I just that whole original I had. Anyway, we're not gonna get into that. This will be a 3-hour review. Comment below if you want to talk to us about the original versus like the new reboot. I really enjoyed seeing the chemistry, not the chemistry, but the friendship between the two of them. And obviously, Harry becomes, is it the Goblin?
Yeah,
The Green Goblin?
The Green Goblin. Yeah, the Green Goblin. Because the Hobgoblin's someone different.
Okay. So obviously he becomes that, not in the most traditional way, I guess, because in the movie they said that he has some sort of like blood disease thing that's like.
Which it wasn't in the comic books at all. I believe.
But
if I'm mistaken, comment below. If I on all the versions of Spider-Man that I've read, I don't think I've ever seen a disease in the Osborns.
I don't remember either, but it was kind of cool. Like I didn't really have too much of a problem with them working it in like that because it served as kind of like an ignition for why Harry kind of needed to do what he
kind of
needed to
became
do.
evil.
Yeah, and it's kind of like
and that's actually
he was
something
desperate, He was.
I wanted to see more of. Was
Harry.
more of Harry, more of that development, more of that connection with Peter. And that's one of my cons is that they kind of sped through the relationship between Peter and Aunt May. I thought was really good. They have this really emotional scene where she's trying not to tell him about his father, and that she really considers Peter to be her child.
Yeah, it's
not
like,
just
there's
her.
a lot of heart-wrenching scenes. Heart-wrenching. Like I shed a tear at the end.
And it really shows how good of an actor
Sally Fields.
Andrew
Garfield.
Andrew Garfield is, because it would have been so easy for them to kind of ham up those scenes, but he had a really nice, subtle, realistic approach.
Yeah, he's real natural.
Yeah, it felt a lot
and
more
I like
natural.
that because he's real.
And-
I'm trying to think what else.
The
The comedy is fantastic.
Mhm.
It's borderline almost campy, but not because they worked it out so well. Like there was a scene where Gwen Stacy's being found out that she's kind of looking into who really Electro is, and you went to the restroom, so you didn't see.
Oops.
But well, it's a long movie. It was like 2.5 hours. We gotta
really
go
long.
to the bathroom after you have some popcorn and soda. But anyways, they were trying to, have a distraction for Gwen Stacy to make her get away out of Oscorp. And he's like, oh, I'll take care of it. So he, like, webs this mug of coffee and spills it on the security guy and, like, smears it down his shirt, trip over the other guy, spill coffee in the face of another guy, and made it all look accidental. It's so funny. I died laughing. And there was a couple other things, too. I remember, like, I laughed out loud. But I can't remember what it was.
I think the biggest thing that just stood out like a sore thumb were the way that they handled the villains, especially Electro.
Yeah, I had a major problem with that.
Because they have, the character Max who becomes Electro, and honestly, it was very poorly handled. I feel like they just kind of turned this campy, I'm uncomfortable, I'm Spider-Man's best friend.
And he's awkward.
And then he has an accident, and then he becomes, oh, I'm pissed off at Spider-Man.
Yeah,
It was a very weak reason for becoming a villain.
I don't know. From the second I saw, I'm not like, an expert on Spider-Man comic books at all. I mean, I've read a few and I know the basics, but some of the other villains like Electro and Rhino, like I don't know as in depth. So I don't know what he looked like in the comic book. I didn't mind his look. I just, from seeing the trailer over and over and over again, because, you see it on TV all the time, and I knew it was Electro, I just wasn't excited. I wasn't excited at all about having him as the main villain. Especially in the trailer, they show Harry, and we all know, well, maybe you don't, but we all know that Harry eventually becomes the Green Goblin.
Yeah.
So it's like, if you're going to stick Harry in there, why not make him... So then I didn't really look into it. Well, I didn't think at all he was going to turn into the Green Goblin in this movie. So when that happened in the movie, it was actually a really nice surprise for me that I was like, oh my god, they're actually going to do this. And then I was like, well, why didn't they just do this from the beginning?
And I think he became, in my personal opinion, he became evil too quickly. He was kind of like, he flew in on his glider after he just defeated Electro, and he sees Gwen Stacy, and then he looks at Spider-Man, and he goes, oh, it's you, Peter. So this whole time, you were the one who didn't want to help me. So now, since you didn't want to help me, I'm going to kill your girlfriend. What?
Well, I don't know. I think that was building up. That rage was building up from a few scenes before that. I don't think it was right away.
Yeah, but...
I don't know. We're seeing it differently.
I didn't think it was... I just think it should have been developed more. I think they should have really cut down some things. Like, honestly, cut out the whole thing with the Rhino.
Oh, yeah.
Why get an amazing actor like Paul Giamatti to do this incredibly stupid, dorky character with this really bad Russian accent going, I am the Rhino!
That was a little kid.
And you're like, what? And
was that
at the
Paul
very,
Giamatti?
That was Paul Giamatti. With the shaved head and the barbed wire tattoo.
Didn't look like him.
And, what was it? At the very end, after the whole thing with the Green Goblin, after Gwen Stacy's death, there's this emotion. You have this huge connection now with Peter, and they did this beautiful transition where it shows for him transition, always at Gwen Stacy's grave. Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden, they have this one last fight scene with the what is it called? With the Rhino, and he's in this mech suit shooting at all the cops, and this one kid just comes walking into the...
Well, that was kind of cute because he was like...
But then he just stops and like, oh, okay, kid, I'll let you have a conversation with Spider-Man instead of shooting at him.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't feel like it was necessary to put the Rhino in unless he's supposed to be in the third one.
Yeah. Well, I know they're going to put him in there because...
It's just... I felt like I'm really disappointed with the villains aspect, with the exception of the Green Goblin for me.
Yeah.
I didn't like it. I like Jamie Foxx. I didn't like him for the role. I don't know why. I don't think I wasn't able to differentiate Jamie Foxx and Electro. Like, I saw Jamie Foxx playing Electro versus seeing Electro. Like, in my head, I couldn't mesh it together for some reason, and it was so disconnected for me, and I hated that, because I know he's a good actor, and it's, maybe it was just because I was just so unhappy with with who we got as the main villain, that I was just like, man, whatever. Yeah, you can see I can't even, like, speak exactly why. Yeah. I can't tell you exactly why I didn't like Electro. The second the credit rolled, I was like, I looked over at him and I was like, didn't like it.
Yeah. There are still some entertaining parts.
there's some entertaining parts. There was a lot of heart-wrenching moments when Gwen Stacy fell and he didn't rescue her in time. You said that it happened just like the comic book, and it was so. I was pretty impressed with the way they did it because she hit the floor as the web went around her belly, and it pulled her up as she hit the floor, kind of in a sense.
It was like a whiplash.
It was
It means if he would have made it a
second earlier, he would have saved her, but he didn't, and it was so sad because we all. Well, I think everybody knew that she was gonna die. Like there was rumors, and if you're into the comics, you already knew that she dies, and. I thought it was like a nice connection that it fit in with the comic and just how it happened, and
even though it took place on the bridge instead of the clock tower,
yeah,
but it was still the same same way. I think instead of grabbing her around the waist, it grabbed her by the leg.
Oh, okay.
And she still, but I think it was either a snap of the neck or the smack of the head. But when you heard that,
in the theater when her body hit the ground.
It wasn't even her body. It was just the back of her head.
Yeah.
And you knew she was gone, and you were just like, oh.
Her entire body hit that concrete.
Was it? I thought
Yeah,
it was just her head.
and then the web kind of ricocheted, and then she
was just hanging there.
Yeah, it was. Oh, that was a heart-wrenching moment for me. Like him just couldn't believe that she was gone, and him having to deal with it right there and then, and he. It's like his fault, and he kept on seeing her dad throughout the film, because he made a promise that he was gonna keep her safe by staying away, and he couldn't do it. So it was so heart-wrenching for me, and just even though it was gonna happen, it was really, really sad.
Well, I'm pretty sure there are a lot of people out there who don't know Spider-Man very well,
who probably enjoyed the film.
Who were like, when Gwen
yeah.
Stacy died, because they had no idea.
Yeah. So, I mean...
So, overall, we're more disappointed than anything with this movie.
With the villains, mostly.
Yeah, but still, the problem is, the best part of this movie was the relationship between Gwen Stacy and Peter Parker, and now that's gone. So, what are they going to do?
Come up with better villains. Well, Harry's going to be in the next films.
Mm-hmm.
In the third one, he'd have to, because that was already in the end.
Yeah.
With the Man in the Hat.
I think Electro is truly dead, because they mentioned who's going to be the Sinister Six.
And he's not?
And he's not one of them.
Oh.
I think Kraven, Mysterio, or there's, of course, Doc Ock, Vulture, Rhino.
Speaking of villains, there was a little...
Oh, an Easter egg.
Yeah, a little disc thing that Harry's
dad.
Norman?
Yeah, Norman.
Norman Osborn gave him before he died was a little thing, and Harry activated it when he was at the office. And it showed like the special project room. Mm-hmm. And it showed all the list of what they had in there, and Dustin caught it, and I kind of caught it like right before they went into the next scene, and it
there was
said,
like a list of everything that they had, and one of them said Venom holding cell.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, that's...
And I was like, oh, Venom holding cell!
Maybe they'll work on to the next films. I don't know how many they have in talks.
They plan on making...
I know 3,
sure. What is it called? Sony has already announced...
Well, they're doing 6.
It is official that they are making a Spider-Man 4. They're going all the way to Spider-Man 4. They're making a Sinister Six movie, which is going to be the first movie ever that focuses on only villains.
Wow.
And they're making a standalone Venom movie. So somewhere between the 3rd and 4th film, they're going to be introducing Venom.
Let's hope for a better Venom.
Oh my god, than last.
I was not happy with that either.
Well, we just pretend that Spider-Man 3 never even existed.
I like
so
that.
Just kind of like how we pretend that Indiana Jones 4 never existed.
Oh, man.
Or the entire Star Wars prequels.
So that's our 2 cents. Also, there was a bonus clip in the middle of the credits, but it wasn't like a Spider-Man. It was one for X-Men.
Yeah.
So I thought that was kind of weird that they did that. I was like, X-Men?
I think they've had a deal with Fox, and they were like, we'll do this for you, but you have to help us promote X-Men.
X-Men needs no promotion.
True.
Not to me anyway.
X-Men's doing. I can't wait for X-Men.
Yeah. So.
Which we'll probably do another review of.
Yeah, we'll review that and superhero movies because that's what we like to see.
Mm-hmm.
superheroes.
So give us if you guys have seen the movie, give us your thoughts, and tell us what you thought. If you guys think, oh no, that was perfect the way they did the movie.
Yeah.
Let us know.
Let us know. Let's have a little discussion down in the comment section below.
Mm-hmm. And like or subscribe to us if you guys like these reviews, and we'll start making more of them.
All right, cool.
Awesome.
So
we
awkward. Sorry, I'm tired. Can you tell? I'm always tired.
Web.
Web.
Spider-Man. Spider-Man 2. We are going to tell you the pros and the cons.
Be for real.
Yes.
Okay.
Did you record that?
Yeah.
Great. Thanks, guys.
Okay, we're here.
Yay. I believe in one of the new incantations.
Reincarnation.
Reincarnations.
Incantation.
Quiet, you. Silencio. If that's... Never mind.